Hot take, peer pressure is not always bad, and we should use it more often for good reasons, since it is so often used against us for bad ones. Whenever we think of peer pressure, we think of a bunch of kids trying to get some other kid to do something they don't want to do. And yes, that is a way that peer pressure plays out, but it is less often thought of as larger societal things. Let me give you an example. In 2020, during the George Floyd uprisings and all of the actions that people were doing all across the country. You had liberals, you had leftists, you had people who you never thought you would see out there and really standing off against cops. There was umbrellas, people had tactics. We were really doing the thing. And now a lot of the people who were out there ain't doing shit when a lot of the same stuff. Biden recently just passed something the same or worse as Trump did for immigration, and mostly all Democrats ain't saying a goddamn thing. So, but anyway, the point is that everybody who was there wasn't there because deep down in their heart they had a burning passion for justice. It was because it's what everybody else was doing, and they were like, yeah, this seems like a good idea. I will go and do it too. And they were not wrong. Similarly now with celebrities being boycotted and then stepping up and saying something because they're afraid of getting boycotted. That's an example of how peer pressure can be used to get people to do the right thing, whether or not they want to. And a lot of people are more concerned about what's in somebody's heart than what the person is actually doing. And if we're more concerned about people having goodness deep down in their heart than we are about getting people to just do what needs to be done to actually practically make things better, we'll never get to a place where conditions support people doing things better for the long term. Everything the state does is to prevent us from using peer pressure to create mass movements. Violence and the cruelty of law enforcement and the prison system is the point. They are trying to make it scary to do the right thing so that it's harder for us to engage people and be like, hey, do you see what's going on? Let's fight back against it. It helps them for us to not pressure each other into doing the right thing. And another aspect of supremacy culture that I see that plays in here is how people are real big on well, you can't convince me of this. I'm not going to change my mind on this. And that is a really dangerous thing to say. Your opinion cannot be changed. That means that it is more important to you that you keep an opinion you feel like is yours than having the right information or doing the right thing. I mean, advertising is essentially a form of peer pressure. They just show you things. They tell you need them. They get people to say, well, oh, I guess everybody wants this and needs this. And then they make it reality by essentially saying that it is reality. This is why you should never, ever be quiet on social media about things that are important. I don't care how you use your social media or whatever. Making things more acceptable to talk about, more acceptable to be strong about, more acceptable to be uncompromising about. That's the way that we create the social change that is needed to foster social movements. Obviously, little Timmy shouldn't jump off a bridge just because his friends are doing it. But if little Timmy is going to go and protest for an important issue because his friends are doing it, that's not really a bad thing. I'm going to make more videos about this because there's a lot of ideas that I think are not harmful, that we have given a harmful connotation in ways that actually stop us from being as powerful and effective as we need to be. Words are only there to describe reality, right? Words aren't supposed to be more powerful or important than what it is that is being discussed about the world. A negative connotation on something can prevent us from seeing how it is truly useful, even necessary in our lives.